Why is it so hard to control alcohol or stop drinking, especially this year? With all the crazy stuff that's happening in the world, it feels like now is the hardest time ever to stop drinking. But why? What is going on? Has something changed? Are things different at the moment? Well, today I'm going to tell you exactly why it's so hard to stop drinking, but most importantly is I'm going to give you a path through it. A path where not drinking alcohol just feels normal. It feels natural. Because after not drinking myself for 7 years, helping hundreds of clients do it in my company, in SoberClear, I know exactly why it's so hard to control drinking. Because I've tried myself for 10 years. I stopped and started more times than I can count. But it's got nothing to do with current events. It's got nothing to do with what you think. But if you're struggling right now to stop drinking alcohol, then you simply need to watch this video. So we're going to unpack 3 key ideas that even if you've stopped drinking already are still going to have a massive impact on you and your journey. The first reason why it's so hard to control alcohol is because alcohol is one of the most addictive and destructive drugs on the planet. Both physically and mentally, it is addictive. Physically, it dehydrates you. So the very nature of alcohol is for you to want to drink more. Not only that, but it also creates withdrawal. Most people don't realize that they're in a constant state of this very low level of withdrawal. So every time they drink, they feel this sense of relief. But physically, it is one of the most addictive drugs known to man. It is up there as one of the most addictive drugs on the planet. But not only is it just physically addictive, but it's also mentally addictive as well. Every social event feels like it's linked with alcohol, so we have this double-edged sword. And I just wanted to remind you that if you're struggling to control your drinking, it has got nothing to do with you. Alcohol is one of the most addictive drugs known to man, and we really need to be able to separate the drinker from the problem and fix the problem instead of trying to fix the person. Which leads me into the second reason why it's so hard to control your drinking. We are born into a world that has already got a predefined worldview when it comes to alcohol. At least if you're born in the West. If you're born in a 100% Muslim country with a Muslim government, you're born into a completely different paradigm. But as a Western person, as myself, I was born in England. I know a lot of Americans view this channel, Australians, Canadians, Europeans. We're born into a world that sees alcohol a very specific way. It's not this way globally. I'm sure if you're born in Saudi Arabia, you're not going to see alcohol as a good thing. But that's not our experience. I've not got Saudi Arabians watching this channel because they don't have a problem with alcohol. At least, yeah, sure, there are going to be some, but mostly speaking, broadly speaking, most of the people that watch my videos are Western. But we live in a capitalist society where alcohol companies have got so much money behind them that they are able to create some of the most sophisticated marketing campaigns known to man. That's why you see it in every movie that you watch, every supermarket, you'll see some beautiful advertisement. It's linked to so many things like sporting events. It's everywhere because hundreds of millions of dollars are spent on making you believe that it is this way. That has been happening from day one of being born. We have been conditioned to see alcohol a very specific way. We've been conditioned to see it as something that adds value to our life. We were never asked, do we agree with this? Nobody ever came up to us and said, hey, when your son or daughter is born, do you agree that we're going to give you these advertisements and they're probably going to think alcohol is this way by the time they reach 21 or 18? We never got asked if that was okay. I'm sure that you would like to review the curriculum of your child's education before you choose what school they go to. I certainly plan to do it, but I want to know, what information will my child consume at this school versus this school? I want to know who the teachers are. I want to know how they're going to be educated. But nobody came up to me and said, your son or daughter, how do they want to be educated on alcohol? It doesn't work like that. It's a bombardment. Marketing message after marketing message after marketing message. Again and again and again. All to make you believe that there is something good about consuming this drug. That's why it's so hard to control in the first place. But that's what gets you hooked in the first place as well. If everybody else does it, if all these famous people do it, if my parents do it, if my friends do it, then surely not everybody's falling for it, right? There must be something in it. And I'm here to be the bearer of bad news. You've been lied to. You've been lied to your entire life. It's a poison. It's ethanol, and it will do nothing for you at all. And it's a carcinogen. Scientific fact. That's not what we're told, right? We're told this is sophistication. This is how we celebrate. This is how we live a good life. BS. All of it. Which leads me to the third thing. Now, the third reason why it's so hard to control alcohol all boils down to your paradigm. If you buy into this conditioning and you buy into the idea that you're the problem here, not the drug, alcohol will be the hardest thing that you will have ever given up in your life. In fact, I don't want to be negative. I don't want to discourage you, but it'll probably be impossible. Because until you can actually fix your paradigm and do what I've done and what I teach people to do on this channel, which is something called first principles thinking, which is where we break the problem down into its component parts, we study them, we put them back together to create a new paradigm. Until you've actually done that and you see alcohol purely for what it is, without any conditioning, any preconceived ideas, when you can see it in its raw form as this addictive drug, that's when it isn't hard to stop drinking. That's when it's the easiest thing you'll have probably ever done in your life. It's the most logical, simple decision. The same way that a lactose intolerant person drinking a pint of milk is never going to happen. Because why would they? It's just going to give them stomachache and they'll be sat on a toilet all day. Why would I drink if I've got a lactose intolerance? Well, that's how I feel with alcohol. I feel allergic to it. I feel repulsed by the idea of drinking it. But it didn't used to be like that. For the 10 years that I struggled with the first and second thing that I've just told you about. I thought I was the problem and I hadn't fixed the conditioning. If you want help doing it, there's 700 YouTube videos on this channel. It's what my coaching company helps people do. If you want to see if that's a good match, you can click the link down below, fill in an application and schedule a consultation. But reframing the way that you view alcohol by using first principles thinking will just eradicate this idea of it being hard at all.